Here's what I believe to be the key skill for anyone who wants to be successful in any walk of life and in any endeavor. Now, that's a bold claim, so let's see if I can back it up. When someone has this particular skill, things seem to almost magically happen for them. People like them, people buy from them, and people respect them. And through those various interactions, they become more and more and more successful, whatever may be their personal definition of that emotive word success. So, what is this almost magical result generating skill? Let me tell you, it's the ability to build rapport. Yes, when you and I, or anyone else for that matter, have this skill and continually take the time and effort to hone it, then we can achieve so much more in our lives. Why is that possible? Well, simply because of all our successes and all of the things that we want to achieve in our life are created by our interaction with other people, whether that's on a social front or in business. Whatever we're doing, we're invariably doing it with and for other people. You and I know that when we wish to persuade someone to our point of view, then before we can do that, we must have rapport with them. When we want to sell them something, in fact, anything to anyone, then before we start that selling and buying process, we must have rapport. And therefore, whatever we do, whenever we do it, and with whomsoever we do it, we must have rapport. This is why I say it's the key skill of success. So let's look at rapport, what it is, how do we build it, and how do we avoid breaking it once we've achieved it. Rapport can be defined in a number of ways. It is a relationship of mutual understanding and trust. According to one source, it is one of the most important features or characteristics of unconscious human interaction. The commonality of perspective, being in sync, being on the same wavelength as the person we're speaking to. The origin of the word rapport, in fact, is French, meaning bring back. And it then developed to mean, and I love these words, intense, harmonious accord. Let me tell you the major reason why I believe that building rapport is the key skill. Here's why. When you have rapport with someone, you can say anything. Now, isn't that special? You can say anything, anything at all. You can disagree with them. You can disagree with whatever they say when you have rapport, and they won't mind. You can put forward another point of view and they'll listen to what you have to say. You can tell them what they should do, something that you suggest, and again, they'll listen to you. And if they really do trust you, they'll take that action. Now, if that isn't the definition of the key skill in business and in life, then I simply don't know what is. So now we know why having the skill to build rapport is so essential to our success, and we know the benefits we'll enjoy through using this skill. Let's look at the various factors that enable us to build rapport with other people. There are various areas through which we can build rapport and various methods. So let's look at the areas first, and then we'll move on to the methods. We can build rapport by having the same values as someone else, and either expressing those values or demonstrating them through our actions. For example, if one of your values is, say, honesty, and I'm certain it is, then refusing to do something dishonest or doing something that is honest in the company of someone else will build rapport with them, if they too have honesty as one of their values, of course. I recall an occasion when I was with a group of people in a hotel. We'd had a sandwich lunch, and when the bill came, and was given to us, the cost of one of the sandwiches had been missed off that bill. One of the parties suggested that we shouldn't tell the waiter. I have to say I was surprised by their comment. I responded that we couldn't possibly do that, and the mistake was pointed out and the bill was paid in full. Now, because I had rapport with the person who made the comment, this hard response from me didn't break rapport. Additionally, I observed the non-verbal response of the others and realized that my comments and my subsequent actions had increased my rapport with them. Sometimes it's a hard road to tread, standing by our values, but it's definitely a way that we build rapport. Sometimes a demonstration of similar values is all that it takes to build substantial rapport. Other areas that are useful for building rapport are common areas of interest, such as places, people, sports, business type, and hobbies. So when we're in someone's house or office, it's very easy to see what interest they have and if we genuinely, and that's so important, isn't it, genuinely have a similar interest, we can start a conversation with them about that topic, which will help us build rapport. I'm certain you've witnessed this. Two people who've never met before suddenly finding a common area of interest, and there they are talking away as if they've known each other for 20 years or more. Another unusual area that can be used to build rapport is the skills that you and the person have in common. Once you have established by good questions and careful listening what common skills you have, then a conversation about those skills is bound to build rapport as you share stories about the use of those different skills. And finally, for the areas of rapport, before we get onto the methods, the way you dress, behave, and look. It's been said many times that to be well dressed is to be appropriately dressed, and this is so true because of its rapport building impact. If you and I were about to address a group of, say, factory workers in their overalls, turning up to do so in our best suits and shiny shoes might not be considered as appropriately dressed. So, when you're looking to build rapport, look at the other person and see if there is any commonality in dress, look, or behaviour. So, now let's look at 9 methods that we can use to build rapport. Firstly, relax. Now, doesn't that sound simple? And it's so true. When we relax, we start to show the real person we are. And that's the exact person that we want someone else to build rapport with. There's little point being uptight and not showing our true colours. So to start with, relax. Then the second method links to this, which is to be yourself. Again, you don't want someone to build rapport with what's called a false friend, someone who is only acting in a certain way. For as sure as eggs are eggs, once the other person realizes you're only acting, rapport will be instantly and often irreversibly broken. The next method, number 3, is to be honest. Honest about your opinions, honest in everything you say and you do. There is little that can beat this integrity-based rapport building strategy. In selling, it's said that people buy people before they buy their products and services, and therefore, in order to build trust, a key factor of rapport, we must be honest in everything we say and do. Next, number 4, be friendly with friendly people. Now, you may be wondering why I added the caveat of being friendly with friendly people. Here's why. Trying to build rapport with a stern individual by being friendly is not going to work. Their demeanor clearly tells you they don't want to be an instant friend. That friendship will take time. So be friendly with friendly people and appropriately serious or somber with stern, serious, or somber people. Remember that rapport is being on the same wavelength as someone else. And it isn't until we have built rapport that we can, if we wish to, move the other person more towards the way we are or would like them to be. In body language parlance, this is often called matching, pacing, and leading. And that is our next method. We match the other person's body language. So easy to do. Then we pace along with it, and then once we're in sync, in rapport, we can, if we wish, start to lead them into different patterns. Now, there's a degree of care that we need to take when using body language to build rapport, and that is, it must not be monkey see, monkey do. If you immediately use the same body postures or body language gestures as someone else so quickly afterwards, then they'll think that we're either feeling different or that we're trying to persuade them on a subconscious level, and we'll break rapport. Why? Because they'll know that it's a technique. The next method is to dress to match, and we've discussed this before, looking at the area of dressing appropriately. Now let's look at another key skill in life as well, when we wish to build rapport, and that is active listening. Most people in life want a good listening to rather than a good talking to. Isn't that so true? And so when we want to build rapport, one of the easiest ways to give respect to someone else is to take the time and take the effort to actually listen to what they're saying. And then when we're responding to what they've said, we should paraphrase back to them. In other words, say the exact words they've said to us rather than paraphrase back to them. This clearly indicates that we were listening, that we were interested. As George Bernard Shaw stated, be interested, not interesting. Now, another method to build rapport with another person, either face-to-face or on the phone, is to match their breathing pattern. It's so simple to do with just a small amount of practice. The easiest way to spot their breathing pattern is to simply look at their shoulder line. It's so simple, and you'll see it rise and fall in time with their breathing pattern. And this avoids looking at the center of their chest, which can be off-putting or inappropriate. And finally, one of the major ways of building rapport, and that is to match the language patterns used by the other person. There's been so much discussion over so many years about matching language patterns through NLP, and that isn't the time or the place for me to go into a full explanation. I'm certain you're already aware of all the basics, if not the advanced ideas with this. Suffice to say that for today we can say, let's listen out for the home base of language that someone uses from the 5 basic types: visual, seeing words; auditory, hearing words; kinesthetic, feeling and movement words; olfactory, words to do with smell; and gustatory, words to do with taste. If we listen carefully, we'll find that some people have a preference for certain type of words, and then by changing our language patterns to match when we're explaining things, we can build a greater level of rapport with them. And then within these language patterns, there are for me 2 distinct patterns I listen for. I nearly said look for, but that's my usual home base of language. Those 2 areas are whether the person is a detailed person or a generalist in their language. I've found that if I miss this and start going into too much detail with a generalist, then this breaks rapport very quickly. Likewise, being too general with someone who wants detail leaves them feeling I'm not giving them the whole story or I'm holding something back. Again, this destroys trust and rapport. So there we have it, a number of areas in which you can think about building rapport and 9 key methods to do so. When you and I have true rapport with another person, then conversations get so much easier. It's easier persuasion to take place, and with total rapport, you can say anything. Now you know why I call rapport building the major skill for success, and while I feel, in fact I know, that when we increase our rapport building skills, it will definitely give us the edge. If you've enjoyed this particular video, I'll just make my things come together. If you've enjoyed this particular video, there's plenty more of my videos around here. In the meantime, I wish you every success in all your adventures in life. From me, Peter Thomson, until the next time, goodbye for now.